Howdy ho there, Wildcats. So before I officially get started with this video message, I just want to give you a message from the staff at Normal West. We love you guys, we miss you guys. We hope that you're all safe and all doing well during this unprecedented time. So for those who don't know me, my name is Mr. Rumps, and I realize that some of you haven't had me as an English teacher. So I'm the guy that jumps out and scares people in hallways. I'm the guy who would sometimes randomly interrupt your class to try to get your teacher completely off task, or throw papers in the air and watch my class run in to do 32 quiz pickup. Also the guy who has a whistle out, and the minute you and Pookie Bear holding hands or worse, I'll blow the whistle so that teachers don't all vomit in their mouths from what they may see. Now, for whatever reason, I'm also the guy the senior board chose to give the senior speech. Now, I'm not sure if they lost a bet or if Mr. Johnson's betting I'm going to mess this up and he can finally get rid of me, but either way it goes. I'm extremely proud and extremely blessed to do this, and I really do want to thank you. Now, because of my unmedicated ADD, I have created a path for us to go on for this speech. So, without further ado, here's what we're going to be covering. Number one, we're going to take a trip down memory lane. Number two, do that dance. 3, we're going to take over Mr. Johnson's office, and I've got some pranks for you. 4, what am I doing here? 5, we're going to get into our fee-fees. 6, we're going to talk about some things you missed out on. And 7, we're going to talk about painting my room. Fun fact, I believe it was your first year here at West was my first year in this room. I got kicked out of the room upstairs in 223 because we kept writing on the walls, and they told me to stop doing that. But I didn't do it anymore, but I had the students do it, so technically I got kicked out down here, and I've been told not to put any more things on the walls. Now, here's the fun part. I have an assignment at the end of this where I'm going to actually invite you to come back so that we can decorate this room with some things from your senior class. So without further ado, let's cover our trip down memory lane. So we're going to start like this. Do you remember when you guys started here as a freshman? So most of you were scared. You were scared of being in a big school, scared of getting lost, scared of the hallways packed with kids you didn't know, maybe scared of starting a new friend group. Now, if you had me as a teacher first hour, your first experience at West was likely getting scared out of your mind as I jumped out from behind the door. So my apologies for that, but not really. But let's talk about this. You guys came in as scared freshmen, and you're exiting as a dominating senior class. How dominating? Well, let's cover some accomplishments from the sporting realm. You're the only class in West history to lose powder puff both years. Oh, that's not really a good thing, but it happened, so I figured I would mention that. Now, last year, the girls' soccer team went to state. Girls' basketball team this year won intercity outright. Chess team earned 3rd at state. Football shared the Big 12 conference title with Normal East and Peoria High and qualified for the playoffs. Boys cross country won Big 12 conference title. Girls swim won Big 12 conference title. Girls tennis won first Big 12 conference title in school history. Boys swim won Big 12 conference title. Competitive cheerleading won Big 12 conference title, sectional title, and finished 5th at state in the co-ed division. Shout out to the Spearfingers. Normal West finished 2nd in Big 12 Conference All-Sports Award. Wrestling had 3 state qualifiers, the most of school history. Boys basketball broke 7 program records and advanced to the Sweet 16 with a great victory over Normal East. Some accomplishments from the realm of the arts. The band combined with Normal East to make one large marching band. There were many excellent plays performed by students during your years here at West, including Everybody, Rumors, Laramie Project, and Harvey. Mock trial captains went to Harvard University. Speech accolades include Amara Shepard placing 2nd in state in original oratory. And the musicals performed were Beauty and the Beast, Joseph and the Amazing 10-Color Dreamcoat, White Christmas, and some of you even joined as 8th graders as Munchkins and Wizard of Oz. Also, your TikTok game has been on point. For real. The number of you practicing TikToks in the hallways and in class and in line for lunch amazes me. It's actually something that I think has rubbed off on the admins here at West. Speaking of, hey cats, can I join in? Wait. It's about to get good. Wait for it. Ready? Excellent. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Obviously, we miss you guys. We need your help on TikToks. Anything you guys want to say? Wait, I forgot my bag of stuff. So clearly we miss you. Clearly we need your help in making TikToks as well. Now, speaking of needing your help, we're going to travel to our next adventure. And we're about to be in Mr. Johnson's office. Now, normally, I am on the side of the desk where I'm in trouble. But today, we're going to sit in his office. But before we get to that, I feel like I need to do something for the seniors. So here's the deal. One of the things that the senior class usually gets to do is a senior prank. Now, you guys haven't gotten to do that this year, so I'm here to help, and I'm sure this is going to help me get some more time in the hot seat with Mr. Johnson to explain my actions. So prank one. Let me close this up. So prank one. Mr. Johnson hates my jump scares. He usually has a look in his eye like he wants to harm me. So I'm going to take one for the team with this air horn. It's so loud. You see, kids, once Mr. Johnson realizes I'm in his office, he's probably going to storm in here, swing this door open nice and wide. So I'm going to put this at the bottom of the door. When he does that, he's going to activate the air horn. This will be good times. Oh, I tested it. It's so loud. So he's going to be pretty disoriented by that. So I'm going to then present him with prank number 2 at the appropriate time. So prank number 2 is something pretty cool. Prank number 2 is a nice envelope that says to Mr. Johnson. Isn't that nice? Well, it is, but I accidentally wrote "with love" from the senior class board on it. I also accidentally filled it with glitter. So when he opens this thing up, he's gonna have to tear it open. And it'll be a nice glitter parade for him. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this right here. You seniors are the best. So some of you guys may be asking, why in the world am I in Mr. Johnson's office? Well, there's really no rhyme or reason specifically that I'm in here. Here we go. So I'm here because I want to get into the real message of the video. And in order to do that, we have to go through how I got to be here. You see what I did there? So in order to really get into the message, I need to tell you about 2 events that really shaped me. Now, some of you may know my history, but many more of you don't. And it's important for me to tell my story and also share something that I've never, ever shared regarding my story. Now, my story starts with my jacket. I went to Woodruff High School in Peoria and rocked out a 2.49 GPA. Well, that's not rock star status to you? Yeah, no, I get that, but let me explain. When I was a junior, we had a job college fair at school. At that job college fair, school mentioned that I could potentially play football and wrestle there. And they said they were a great school for teachers. So I put 2 to 2 together and decided that I might want to go there and become an English teacher. Now, don't get me wrong. I wasn't a big fan of English. Shh, don't tell my department that. I was always really good at it, so I thought that that would be the path for me to take. Now, later that day, our English teacher had us all share out what we wanted to do as a result of the job and college fair. And I mentioned that I thought I might want to become a high school English teacher. So my teacher told me to stop by her room after school. I thought this was a good thing because we hadn't always gotten along as a teacher and student, and I really had no idea where to go to college or even how to pay for it. So I went in after school, and she said she was glad to see me there. I thanked her and said that I was glad to be there. She then proceeded to tell me that becoming an English teacher was a bad idea. She said that I wasn't smart enough. She said I wasn't patient enough to deal with kids. And she said that I didn't even have the right personality to even be able to pull it off. She gave me every single reason why I would fail. And I walked away from that meeting and went home feeling that she was right. I was dumb. I was impatient. And I wasn't Mr. Personality, to be sure. So life lesson on this one. There are going to be situations in life that will either consume you or they'll be used as fuel to propel you to a better future. Now, I did decide that since she told me I would fail, that I would prove her wrong. But if I'm being honest, the truth really is that I only halfway decided. Because see, when you make a decision that things are going to be different, the decision only counts when you put action to it. And even though I decided that I would prove her wrong, I changed nothing about the way that I was as a student. Now, this actually hit home with me on the second life event that shaped who I am. And this is the one that I've never really told anyone. And it also relates to this coat that I'm wearing. Yeah. Woodruff High School, class of 95, what up? Yeah, dawns on me. You guys weren't even born yet. So, wow, makes me old. So my second life event was an event that's being taken away from you until August. It was my high school graduation. For the majority of students, this is a very happy time. All the hard work of the past 4 years pays off as you get to walk across that stage. It was a bit different for me, and I can't really explain why this happened the way it did, but as I was sitting there watching my classmates walk across the stage and get their diplomas, I was overcome by a sadness that's only happened very few times in my life. And I realized as it was my turn to get my name called up there that I'd wasted my time. But now let me fully explain this. So, because I'm not saying that high school was a waste of time. Don't get me wrong on that. What I'm saying is that I had a moment where I realized I didn't take advantage of any of the time that I had at the school. Actually, my jacket here is proof of that as well. You guys can see it. You see we've got regional champs on here for wrestling, some wrestling letters, some football letters, and here's the thing. I was really proud to be on the wrestling team and the football team at Woodruff. But if I'm being honest with you, I realized at graduation I'd never ever given 100% to the sports I was playing. Our wrestling team earned awards and our team was an absolute beast, but I was floating somewhere in the middle. Never flat out giving zero effort, but never ever giving 100% effort. I actually still remember the shock of some of my classmates when I earned the Illinois State Scholar Award. I earned that award because of a good score on the ACT, but my GPA was garbage and everybody knew that. Now, what I'm saying is that in the depth of that intense moment of sadness and regret, I made a decision. I made a decision to put action to a decision to prove my teacher wrong. I made a decision to put action to the idea that I could be anyone or anything that I wanted to be. I just had to have the courage to try. And I can honestly say that the person you see as a teacher, like the me you know as a teacher, is not the same person that I was back in high school. In high school, I was the C's get degrees kind of guy, but it was that mentality in every aspect of my life. I did nothing with a sense of excellence or some sort of sense of purpose. But I want us to get a life lesson out of this. Get a reward from your struggles. So no matter what type of student or athlete you were at Normal West, this relates to you. Now think about it like this. If we take the idea that you have approximately 180 days in a school year, and this is your 13th year of school, including kindergarten, that means you've had 2,160 days in school prior to your senior year. Now you've had 129 days in school your senior year before the COVID-19 lockdown. Now do me a favor. Look back at those 2,160 days before your senior year. Did you make those days count? Or were you the person that just counted the days? How many of those days would you say you gave 100% to be the best student that you could be? How many of those days would you say you gave 100% to be the best athlete that you could be? How many of those days would you say you gave 100% to be the best son or daughter you could possibly be? And how many of those days would you say you gave 100% to be the best friend to others that you could possibly be? Regarding your senior year, that's a year when most students either go all out or they take a year of easier classes. Both paths had 129 days here at West before the COVID-19 lockdown. Of those 129 days of this senior year, how many of you made sure that you gave it all that you had? Of those 129 days, how many of you made sure that your friends knew that you cared for them more than you cared for your social media accounts? How many of you spent those 129 days at West doing all that you could to be a better student, a better mentor, or a better friend? As you look back on this past year, did you make those days count, or did you basically just sit here and count those days? Now listen, this is so important. We know for sure how many days we have had, but we have no idea how many days we still have. So let's summarize this into a life lesson. Do all you can to make each day count in some way or another. Now, speaking of counting the days, do you realize as of the time I have to turn this speech, we've been away from Normal West for 32 school days. What if we see this quarantine as a sort of blessing? Now, allow me to explain on this one. Throughout the past 12 years, the system has carefully held the hands of all students. We set up the schedules. We tell you where to go. We tell you who to be friends with by putting you in certain classes and certain sports. We even tell you when and what to eat. Now, students happily oblige and have no idea that when graduation hits, you're suddenly and shockingly on your own. Quarantine has actually been your first dose of what it's like to be, to be on your own. You decide when or if you do schoolwork. You decide what time you get up. You decide what you want to do each day. Are you happy with your decisions so far? Are you happy with the quarantine version of you? You've been on quarantine for 32 school days. What have you done with those school days? Have you allowed yourself to fall into something you never wanted to be? Consider yourself blessed in a way. Most students never get this opportunity of a trial run of adulthood and make your own decisions. But here's the thing. You are ultimately in control of you. How are you doing with that? If you're not happy with the quarantine version of you, you simply need to follow a simple thought process. Be a better you tomorrow. Live by that each day, and you're going to live the life that you dreamed of living. Now, is it going to happen overnight? Nah. Will it magically happen every day? No way, we're human. Each day is a struggle, but it's also a gift. You get to choose which one each day is. Now, let's talk about some of the things that you guys missed out on. Graduation. This senior class is the first one that won't get to walk across the stage on time of graduation. This perhaps is the best gift of all. Now, hold up here. I'm not saying that you need to be happy about it. Please don't misunderstand. Remember what I said about going through pain and getting a reward from it. Well, that applies here. Some of you are going to be happy to walk across that stage and let that be your best moment. Not anymore. Some of you are going to be the first ones to walk across the stage of a high school graduation. But don't settle. Look, you didn't get that on time, so aim higher. Be the first one to walk across the stage of a college graduation, or be the first one to walk across the stage of a military basic training graduation. Be the first one to walk across the stage of a college graduation with a master's degree or a PhD. Ultimately, you are in control of where you go. You are the one that gets to decide what legacy you're going to leave for others. You know, I saw a t-shirt at West this semester that talked about making your ancestors proud. And I like that. But then I started thinking, what if we decide that we're going to be the people that our ancestors talk about as the one that changed the family legacy for the best? So what if we're the ones that set the bar high for the academic achievement? And what if we're the ones that set the bar high for relationships with the family and we stop the cycle of substance abuse or broken families that seems to grip our society? What if we stop asking what if? Don't be the version of me that sat there full of regret on graduation day. Choose to make each day count at every opportunity. Yes, you missed out on prom the way it was supposed to be too, but why not just get a limo with some friends and head out to a dinner anyway? Why in the world do we feel like we have to wait for an official dance to do that? Yeah, you missed out on graduation the way it was supposed to be, but why not use this as a stepping stone to go way farther than you ever thought possible? Yeah, you missed out on the last senior days with your friends at Westfest, the senior picnic, and all the other activities that we'd had as seniors. But why not get those friends together in any way that you can, put the phones down, and just enjoy each other's company? And I realized too that we got those of you who play spring sports and missed out on your last chance to play spring sport for your high school team. But for those who are going on to play in college, hold on to the pain of what you missed and let that fuel you to do your best with the opportunity that you're going to be given at the next level. No plays off, right? Every practice, 100%. Do the best that you possibly can with the opportunity that you've been blessed with. I'm going to close with this. This senior class is strong, and you guys will go far. Trust me on that. I've seen some of you come into this school in a wheelchair freshman year and walk around the first floor unaided in order to win a pizza from you. Shout out to Cassie. I see your strength. Some of you suffer through depression and come out on the other side stronger. I see your strength. I've seen that some of you have had periods of time where you've been homeless or down to nothing. And I've seen you start to rebuild your lives from that. And I see your strength. I've seen some of you battle through parent or family situations that are full of anguish and sadness, and you've turned that to a promise to yourself to not be like that when you grow up. I see your strength. I've seen some of you battle through the loss of Rachel Dean and Libby Sonnets and Charlie Crabtree, and I see you living your best life for them, and I see your strength. I've seen some of you battle to do the best you can academically, not for the sake of a piece of paper, but for the pride that comes with testing yourself and doing your best. I see your strength. I've seen how some of you try to balance remote learning, a job, earning money from your family, taking care of your siblings while trying to make the best of the last part of your senior year. Despite all of those struggles, you still show up to turn in your assignments. Your teachers at West see and appreciate your strength. The class of 2020 has battled through times that would have caused others to quit. I respect your strength of character and your will to do your best. And honestly, that's catitude. As you approach graduation, look back to where you've been and then look to the future to see where you really want to go. Make all of your days count to the best of your ability. Stop waking up each day like it's an accident. Get a reward for every struggle that you overcome. Above all, be the person that has your feet hit the floor in the morning. The people who have doubted you think, oh crap, he's awake again. Hey, you remember how I said that I had an assignment for you regarding painting a brick in my classroom? Well, listen, if this speech has had any impact on you at all, I invite you to paint a brick in my classroom. Now, if you'd like, you can make a promise brick. All right, it's a brick that you'll paint this summer that puts in writing a promise regarding making your future days count or making your future count or some goal that you have for yourself. And it's going to serve as an inspiration for all students who come into the classroom. And it'll serve as a reminder of our time together at West. So just email me at rumpsjc@unit5.org and I'll do my best to set up a plan and sign for people to come in. So again, from all of us at West, to all you seniors, we love you guys, we miss you guys, and we're proud of you. And remember, it's a great day to be a Wildcat.